channel. This week I wanted to talk to you guys about two series that I've read, and they both have POV books from the first one from the girl's point of view, the second from the guy's point of view. And the first one is the Beautiful series by McGuire, and the second is the Contours of the Heart series by Tammara Webber. So let's jump into it. I've gotten very used to reading books now where you're reading the same book and it's swapping POVs, so you get both sides, which is really nice. But these were some of those books that I think were a little bit older, so that was kind of one of those things that people hadn't started to do yet, swapping POVs in the middle of the book. So they went back and wrote completely different books from opposite POVs, which is definitely nice because I love getting the other person's POV, but there's definitely a way to break up the monotony of it. So I read A Beautiful Disaster. I had actually seen it around for some time and I was kind of intrigued to know what it was about, and a friend recommended it to me and she said it was really good and that I should check it out. So I did. It's about a guy named Travis Maddox who he's kind of got a lot of like anger going on. He fights these like secret ring fights in college just to make money and stuff. And he's kind of one of those guys who just goes around and does what he wants. And then one of the nights at his fights, he sees this girl named Abby who they kind of had this like connection when they see each other across the room kind of thing. Okay, so Travis's roommate is his cousin, and his cousin is dating Abby's really good friend, so they all kind of get mingled together. They like eat lunch together at the same table and all stuff, so it's like she like has this connection with him, and then they end up like thrown together, so like even if he was there before, at this point she's actually like noticing him and they're noticing each other. But obviously they have a lot of things that go on between them, like pulling them back and forth, together, not together, that kind of thing. I really fell in love with Travis during this story, and so obviously I wanted to know like more inside of his head, because once I finished the story I was like, well, of course I want to read like his POV. It was definitely nice getting his POV, and there was a lot of times in the story where you're getting like their chunks of their break where they're not talking, and so you're only getting her point of view. So in the second one, Walking Disaster, you're getting his point of view, which is really nice. So there were a few points in the story where it was actually really nice to know what was going on in his head. And then also like the last two chapters, you have like the last chapter and then the epilogue from his POV, you get a very different story, so that was also really nice too, which I really enjoyed. Part of me kind of wished I had read Walking Disaster first instead of Beautiful Disaster, just because I got his POV and the guy's the one you fall for, so that was kind of nice. But it was definitely nice reading Beautiful Disaster too, because you're getting her seeing him and not just in his head. So the first book in the Contours of the Heart series is called Easy, and it's about a girl named Jacqueline Wallace who basically follows her high school sweetheart like state away or hours away to go to college, against kind of her parental advice and against what she actually wants to major in for college. Like she wants to go to a music conservatory, but instead she goes to this like prestigious like studies college, and she follows her boyfriend because she wants to be with him, and so that's cool. But sophomore year, like 2 weeks in, he breaks up with her. So for her, it's like all of her friends and everyone she's like come to know and hang out with, they're all like his friends because he's in a frat, so she's kind of like left on her own with like her roommate and that kind of thing. They end up going to a party and something happens, and then this guy named Lucas kind of like swoops in and saves her, and then their relationship kind of evolves from there. So in the second book, Breakable, you have Lucas's point of view, but you also have his younger self. Before like all the things that happened to him in his past, you have that unfolding, so it's kind of like those pieces of the puzzle playing into his actions in the present, which I really enjoyed because it's almost like you got a completely different story that you're kind of going off of. So while I really enjoyed getting his point of view from the Easy story, I really liked getting more inside of his head and more of his background from the alternate POV from when he was younger. So unlike most of the other books where it's very redundant, yeah, you're getting a little bit of that redundancy, but you're also getting like legitimately a whole nother story that I was very intrigued to find out about. So I absolutely loved both of these books. I definitely recommend them. If you haven't read them, you definitely should. There's actually 2 more books in the series. The third one is about a guy from Lucas's past, one of his friends from high school, and this girl that he was interested in. And then allegedly there's a 4th one about Jacqueline's roommate, but I haven't actually seen any release dates for that one anywhere, but I noticed it on Goodreads. I might get around to those later. I would definitely recommend both of these books. If you're looking for something that's a little bit more like different, I would say read the Contours of the Heart books, because you're getting her point of view and his point of view and more of his past, which is nice. And Beautiful Disaster, I would recommend definitely reading Beautiful Disaster. I really loved that book. I love Travis Maddox. There's actually a whole series that goes with like all of his brothers, because he has 4. So there's a whole like series that goes through like each brother, and then there's one like down the line for like later when he's older. And I would definitely love to read those. If you feel like books like that are kind of monotonous, I would just kind of skip to the last 2 chapters. But yeah, I really loved both of these series. I loved all of these books. I loved these characters, and I'm really glad that I got the chance to read them. But yeah. If you check out either of these series, let me know, and let me know what you guys thought. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like, and if you'd like to see more videos like this, please subscribe. I hope you have an amazing day. I hope you guys have an amazing week, and I will see you next Tuesday. Bye!